Let's get it. Let's get it. It's the Convict Chronicles. It's the Convict Chronicles. It's the Convict Chronicles. Convict Chronicles. Gotta get it mixed and mastered so I, you know what I mean, have my little music. Drop this mixtape. What's going on out there though? Facts Media Global, you already know what it is. I'm back, new series, the Convict Chronicles, where we break it down and we distinguish the difference between inmates and convicts in the penal system. You know, try to get to the nitty gritty on how things are, why things are. And I can guarantee you it's always going to go back, transfer back to who? Who you think? The inmate. The inmate. Why you think policies get shut down? Why you think there's no more smoking? Change the commissary list from being healthy to harmful. But for the next, 15, 20 minutes, we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about why. The whys, you know what I mean? Because you always want to get to that. You always want to get to the why. We already know they cut out cigarettes and why. Bet you they would have never cut off the cigarettes to those convicts that, allowed us to have school programs, allowed us to have, different things that we wasn't, different. That was the reason why they rioted. Putting in the real work to change the policies in the prisons. Pretty sure a lot of those guys is rolling over. The transition, a lot of those guys, they rolling over in the grave right now. Rolling over in the grave. Putting all that work for the inmates to take over. It's kind of like the LGBT community. LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the same thing. This is also the Morning Wake and Bake. This is just a segment of the Morning Wake and Bake, which I call the Convict Chronicles. And today we're going to break down the Commissary versus the Brown Top. When I say the Brown Top, because I was going to say the mess hall, but not everybody is subject to the mess hall. Not everybody is subject to the mess hall, but everybody's subject. Nobody is too good for that brown top. That brown top, that can occur at any given time of the day. Any moment. One false move, the jail might shut down. Then you got the brown bag. Brothers and sisters. Let me get my thing right. Let me talk to y'all real fast. We try to put something in your head so y'all can have something to think about before y'all be able to make that move. Because you got to play the tape all the way through. Shout out to counselor over there at Concept 90 in Harrisburg, PA. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that later in the Convict Chronicles. Because, we're going to get to that. But, just made me think about, one of the counselors in the program that I was forced to have to take due to parole and probation. That was before the legalization of the marijuana. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta think about it. How many of our brothers and sisters done took a fall just because, you know, they had an issue with the marijuana and, you know, they had a dirty urine or whatever the case may be. How many years and years they just turning this around? They just turning all of this stuff around. But how many years and years and years of people's lives, kids around this time, around Christmas, had to lose their parents, their dad, because of violation? You know, because this is the prime time, and I'm gonna explain it to you. I had to not go certain places after I began to mature. After numerous probation and parole violations, when I had to mature and understand and look at the events and look at how this thing is set up. And around these times right now, between Halloween, we got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas coming right behind that, and of course New Year's. That's trying times for individuals that had made a mistake in life and had to deal with the consequences of parole and probation or whatever the case may be, home monitor. It's trying times. Why? Because that was the times when you got your family, your friends, everybody's in town. People you ain't seen in a while. People that might not be, you know, too attuned with your what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? They might not know that you've been causing havoc in your community, you're a troublemaker, you're tearing up in school. So they come with the honesty and innocence, and you know, it's just like any other time. Before you got in trouble, you know how it was. Everybody had they calm, you know, get festive, get jolly. You know, you got uncle, you got cousins, everybody, they might be in the back, you know, indulging. And there's something about it, you know, you want to just be like old times. You go sit back there with uncle, you sit back there with auntie, and she say, hey, man, well, you come take a drink with me. Hey, you know you want to hit this shit. Hit this shit, man. Stop playing. This is Christmas. Next thing you know, lo and behold, you got your PO at the door or whatever, because this is what they do. They use these times. This has been a fact. This has been proven that the Department of Corrections, they use times like these when they make sweeps. They make sweeps. They're gonna sweep you. Why would you want to make sweep days before Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving or on Christmas Eve? Or why would you want to do that? There's a reason. You know? And I didn't mean to go off the topic, but let's get back to this Commissary versus the brown top. Now, a lot of things change. A lot of things have changed. You know, I'm from the Renaissance. Let's say the Rikers Island Renaissance. There's a difference between these guys that was on the island now, 2000s, and millennium babies. They little Rikers Island millennial babies. But me, I'm from the Renaissance era. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you understand the Renaissance era and what that means. But that's where I'm from. From the Renaissance. When I say that, I mean 90 to say 90 to 95. Those 5 years, those was intricate. Those was intricate, historic, groundbreaking years. Those are the Renaissance times. So it's a whole different, you know. So it's totally different. Why I say that? Because in the Renaissance age, it was 90, it was 70, 80, 85% convict time. 89% convict time ratio. I know you said, facts, what you talk about? Facts? 80 ratio of the time. All that. Meaning that you was on convict time. You know? You was on convict time. So it was a whole different principles. Whole different principalities. It was pre-gang era. Stand on your own two. Standing on your own 2 feet. Doing what you needed to do. Holding your own. This is what you had to do. This was pre-Hispanic strength. It wasn't no Hispanic strength. Like, it wasn't trying none of that. But you had officers. Officers such as Serrano. If anybody know, you know. But I haven't heard anybody talk about these legendary it was just legendary terrorizing correctional officers on that island. I can name a few, but let me just talk. I'm gonna talk about 3 right now. I'm talking about Serrano, Brown, and Pitt. Serrano, Brown, Pitt, one lower. I had the pleasure of being the porter down there in one lower bank for, say, 3-4 months amongst, this is what, 92, amongst lions, amongst true convicts in every sense of the word, gladiators. We just lost one gladiator. We're gonna get to that later though. But it was different. It was before they changed the commissary up, so we had the sandwiches. You was able to go and get lunch meat. You was able to go get your different meats, your mayonnaise packs, your mustard packs, your Kool-Aid. Of course, you had just your cookies and things of that nature, but you had your Cheez-Its, you know what I'm saying? You had your donuts. You had all of that, but it was a different, you had more options. Brothers, y'all forget, that's your prison. That's your jail. The administration, them officers, they just work for y'all. So whatever y'all say goes, as long as y'all got to stick together and y'all got to write it up and y'all got to make sure that y'all sticking to your guns. If you see that the commissary is unhealthy and is not beneficial, you got to make a change. You got to rally. If you know the food in the mess hall is not appropriate, you got to rally for that change. But they understood and they seen the inmate influx, the influx of inmates coming in now, because it was no longer. They didn't have to worry about. They seen that all of these inmates, they was just violence against each other. The inmates came in, and then the officers gained control. So they say now they so busy trying to slash, cut, and stab each other, we could just sit back and we can get everything, just buckle everything down the way that we wanted it to. So what did they do? They took the cigarettes away. That was the main thing that I can't understand to this day. How all of these so-called convicts allowed that to go down, allowed that to transpire. 1 second. course, daddy duties never cease. But yeah. So that's how you improve the quality, because at the end of the day, you did the time. You did the crime. So now you ultimately have to do the time. So when you in there and you behind that wall, you can see that things are not the way that they're supposed to be. Where's the unity? Where's the love? When are we going to start effectively changing some of the policies and getting things back to the way that they was? Of course, I was able to overcome the addiction of nicotine, and I stopped smoking maybe, I can't even count how many years ago it's been. Yeah, I still go ahead and do my thing, but I was able to be blessed to overcome that hurdle. But I don't think I would have been able to overcome that hurdle if I was behind the wall. Because it's something, you done lost everything. You have nothing. You incarcerated. You have nothing. You got limited communication. You got limited interactions with the outside world. So just a can of top, a Newport 1000, one good old Cadillacs when you come back from, because how I used to do, I know we was going to the yard, I'd make my, because it was different when I'm going to get to that story. Me, Mano, shout out Mano, the Lobby Boys. You know what I'm saying? OG Mac, Mario, all y'all up there in the L. We was up there, C7, C block, 7 tier. You know what I'm saying? I was 3 cell, you know what I'm saying? Everybody came through there. The whole building knew who I was, you know what I'm saying? I get around the whole building. You know what I'm saying? But I had my beef was with the officers. So if anybody familiar with C block and Elmira, first shift officer Hellenbeck. See, these things is embedded in my brain, like, your brother, your black brother, your enemy who you had the slash tag with on the island, things like that is embedded in these guys' brains, because that's who their fight was with, and it shouldn't have been. But what was I supposed? What could I say? You know what I'm saying? It was survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. But me, I had an ongoing beef with the administration and the correctional officers. No matter what town I went through, no matter what jail I've been in, you know what I mean. I done made it happen in plenty different jurisdictions. Not to be bragging, not to be boasting, but my fight has always been with the administration. I never had public pretenders. Didn't do the public pretenders. I think I probably had one public pretender, maybe 2 public pretenders in my life. And that was it. So, like I said, so you had Officer Hellenbeck. That was the morning time. And then at the night, you had Officer Ellis. Now, if anybody know, they know. We're going to get into other officers and other jails, and we're going to keep it going. But right now, we're going to talk about those 2. Then, of course, we talked about the officers on the island. Let's start talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Let's start talking about this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get to the really nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the fight lies. You know what I'm saying? And it's been another one. The Convict Chronicles, little morning, wake and bake. Want to just discuss Commissary versus the Brown Top, how it got to where it got, and how it can get back to where it was. All it takes is a little work, because at the end of the day, the brother should have the cigarettes back. After all of the mishaps and all of these things that y'all done, administration that y'all done wrong, war on drugs, which is still going on to this day. But now we're just seeing that it's a whole different approach because it's the people that's in the suburbs and the rural neighborhoods of America that's taking the fall in an alarming rate. You know, we see that they don't want to take over. They don't want to take over the reins like all the last generations. They no longer want to work on the farm. They want to be on an iPad. We know this. We understand all of this. But we're going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to keep it moving. Convict Chronicles. I appreciate everybody coming through, checking it out. I'll be back later. We're going to get into something else. Breeze. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Facts Media Global. It's your boy. I'm out.